Good morning and welcome to Chatty Walks with Angela. I'm Angela and today we're doing a little walk from Leicester Square to Piccadilly Circus. They are right next to each other. So let's do a little wander, shall we? It's the end of June. It's a bit of an overcast day. We've had so much lovely hot weather into the low 30s. Struggling as usual in the UK when it gets hot. And now it's cooled down. We're sort of in the low 20s. And as I said, a little overcast this morning. As we have a quick wander around the square that is Leicester Square. Just outside of the Odeon there. I think we've got a Batman on top. You can't see him from this angle. So I see the new Indiana Jones film is showing. Blast from the past, huh? How is everyone? If you're in the northern hemisphere, how's your summer going? Here we go, Indiana Jones. And if I just point up there, should just be able to catch a guy with abs. Just check my connections on my mic a sec. It's fairly early, 10:30 in the morning. I've got a brunch date at 11, so that tells you how quick a walk around Leicester Square and Piccadilly Circus is likely to take. Looking at the Hampshire Hotel there, which I always think looks quite grand. And it's actually starting to drizzle slightly, unexpected. We are on land that used to belong to Westminster Abbey, the convent. I think I've told you before that Covent Garden is actually a version of convent. So the convent of Westminster Abbey and the Beaumont family, Henry VIII, you're very familiar with this part of London now if you follow my work, took control, handed it out to his mates, and the lucky recipient of this part of London was Robert Sidney, 2nd Earl of Leicester, hence Leicester Square. See if you can see who we got at the top of there, Laurel and Hardy, just above the theatre tickets booth. This theatre tickets booth is actually above an electricity station. Oh yes it is. So even though it says Theatreland there, we can buy tickets. Underneath it is a massive electricity substation. See, we've got people queuing here for their tickets. We Will Rock You, I assume, is on sale. So you've got sort of huge transformers about 3 stories below us here to reduce the National Grid's 132,000 volt power supply to dispense it, the power that is, to Leicester Square, Covent Garden and Piccadilly Circus. There we are. Another big rolling view of this Odeon. We'll go into the square in a sec, see if we can pick up any more of those little statues that are hovering around. You're on Leicester Square WC2. Little birdies flying over here. I wonder what they might be a reference to. And over here we got a little chap eating his carrots. Hello there. Let's go into the square. So the Earl of Leicester had his house, built it, finished it 1635, tried to nab the land in front of it for himself, which wasn't allowed. And the inhabitants of St Martin in the Fields parish had previously been able to use this land, and they took it to the King, King Charles I, and they said, "Oi, give us our land back." In particular, Lammas Day on the 12th of August, they expected to be able to wash their clothes and herd their cattle. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you may remember cattle used to graze in this area wantonly. So we've got all the deck chairs out. Don't know if you just caught on top of the ticket booth. Yeah, that's the back end of Laurel and Hardy. See who else we can find. We'll do Shakespeare in a sec. He's not a great big bronze statue or whatever they're made of. Are they made of bronze? I've forgotten. Oh, their photo taken. You can see Mary Poppins over there. Here is the statue of William Shakespeare. And sort of we got this very nice sort of water feature that's maybe looking a bit tired today. Wait till the sun comes out, look a bit better. So there we have William Shakespeare. And this was to be preserved forever for the free use and enjoyment of the public. Hello, pigeons. Pigeons have come to see me. They no doubt think I might have some food for them, as does that seagull. No, guys, sorry, I don't. So the water feature was actually part of the improvement. So at the beginning of the 21st century, sounds weird, doesn't it? Westminster Council thought the square, Leicester Square, was getting too dangerous at night. And so wanted to demolish parts of it to encourage the growth of theatres and cinemas. Now I just see what he says up there. There is no darkness but ignorance. So in 2010 we had a major redevelopment of Leicester Square as part of a great outdoors scheme proposed by the Mayor of London at the time, Boris Johnson. Let's give you a sweeping vista around the square. So when I first came to Leicester Square in the 1980s, when I was still at school, you do the school trip and what have you, it wasn't pedestrianised. Vehicles could come through here. And they cut all that off during the 1980s. And you got these marshals, sometimes you sort of spot them, marshals to sort of allow vehicles in for deliveries and what have you. So let's have a look at this chap here. Charlie Chaplin. I think we'll head out of the square now. It was actually during the 18th century this sort of moved on from being a place where locals could wash their clothes and graze their cattle, and it sort of became a place for entertainment. Visitors, particular type of entertainment for some, visitors could pay to watch the severed heads of traitors executed at Temple Bar through a telescope. So yes, you sort of weren't quite so built up then, so you could see quite easily across to Temple Bar to the east of here. So that was entertainment, severed heads, traitors, that type of thing. And by the 19th century, overseas hotel groups started building hotels here, popular with visitors to London, and Leicester Square kind of grew. And of course, in that direction, we have Chinatown, just to the north of the square. Now, in the 17th century, it was quite a popular duelling spot. Oh yes, people did duels. I wonder who we have here with his big whip. Is it coincidence? Here we go. Framed against the Odeon. I mean, I'm guessing it's Indiana Jones. What would that be, the premiere over there? So yes, duels, talking of fighting battles. Duels, and 1699, Richard Coote, the first Earl of Bellamont, killed a man in a duel allegedly over the affections of a woman. He later became the colonial governor of Massachusetts, New Hampshire and New York. So we got some school kids here. London this morning is absolutely packed. I don't know if there's something going on because there are so many school parties here. So we got the Harry Potter one there. And I think we'll walk now towards Piccadilly Circus. Before we do that, I'm going to wipe my camera lens because it's drizzling, which is quite unexpected actually. Let me just clear the drizzle. Okay, hopefully drizzle cleared. And we're on the north side of the square. Karl Marx actually lived 1848, had a few failed German revolutions and stayed in the German hotel in the square, visited by fellow revolutionaries. Now we have here the Lego store, the world's largest Lego store, opens on 3 Swiss Court, Leicester Square in November 2016. Opening was marked by the unveiling of a 6 metre or 20 foot high model of Big Ben made out of 200,000 Lego bricks. Now, the puzzling case of what this glockenspiel's doing here. And people that are more elderly, like myself, who've been coming to London since the 80s, probably have a different memory of it, because we remember the Swiss Centre. So if you look over there, we have M&M's World, and that used to be the Swiss Centre, which was there to promote tourism with Switzerland. Knocked down in the 80s, and it was well known for its glockenspiel outside. This one that we see here is actually a replacement. The original one was a gift from Switzerland and Liechtenstein and decorated the Swiss Centre, as I said. When it was destroyed in 2008, the Swiss Centre was destroyed, the clock went with it, but in 2011 Westminster Council rebuilt it just a few minutes from where it originally stood, along with a restored clock. And that clock up there, can I turn it up again, is remotely controlled from Derby. Derby, yep, controls it. And every hour the figurines that represent traditional Swiss farmers move. There we go, on 15th of April 1991, on the occasion of the 700th anniversary of the Swiss Confederation, the Right Worshipful the Lord Mayor of Westminster, Councillor David Avery, named this area Swiss Court as a token of the lasting friendship between Switzerland and the United Kingdom. And this is a cantonal tree displaying the coats of arms of the 26 cantons of Switzerland. Let me just turn it back around for you. There you are. Coats of arms, 26 cantons of Switzerland. There's a view towards Leicester Square. At the far end you can maybe just about make up Leicester Square tube station, which is your nearest tube station. However, if we just pop over here, we'll be at Piccadilly Circus, and that will be your nearest tube station. As always, once you get here, you can see straight through to Chinatown. Bit of a grey day. There's Chinatown for you. As we find our way across to Piccadilly Circus. I'm going to give the lens another wipe, as it's being drizzled on, I suspect, as we walk along Coventry Street. So Coventry Street, hard to say together, joins the two spots. For the information for this sort of joined video, Londontopia and Londonist have been very good websites for information, and also Fun London tours. As we approach Piccadilly Circus, now some people are a little bit perplexed, bemused maybe. Oh, it says the comedy store over there. Didn't know that. Perplexed as to why Piccadilly Circus would be popular at all, because it's so busy. You can sit in a traffic jam at 2 in the morning. Not that I'm out at 2 in the morning, but if you are, you can still sit in a traffic jam around here. Some people think it's one of the most famous intersections in the world. I guess it depends where you live. You've heard of Piccadilly Circus. And there is the popular saying, it's like Piccadilly Circus in here, meaning it's very busy. And it is quite a challenging spot to navigate. I'm not really looking forward to going through it with a camera. Let's see if I can get over to the far side. Crossing the road is challenging quite often. Here's an Angus steakhouse, of course. I think on one of my first ever trips to London, I actually went into that steakhouse. But for whatever reason, tourists are here year in, year out, having their picture taken, quite often in the incorrectly named statue of Eros. It's not Eros, in case you didn't know. There's the Hard Rock Cafe. What was the... I don't know if you can picture it from here actually as we look across. With cars and vans going right ahead of us. So straight ahead of us is Regent Street. And then to its, I suppose to its left then is Piccadilly. And the whole purpose of Piccadilly Circus was to act as a hinge in Regent Street, ensuring that the grand processional route created by John Nash in the 1820s from Regent's Park. So Regent's Park is north of here. And John Nash had set up a nice processional route from Regent's Park to the Prince of Wales' palatial residence at Carlton House, just along here. And he wanted it to have a suitable sweeping majesty. Photographs outside the Hard Rock Cafe. So it's supposed to sweep. You could sweep on a hinge before getting to Carlton House. So that was the purpose of it originally. And no, there's no circus. There's quite a few places around London that have the term circus, not because they ever had a circus here. It's from the Latin meaning ring or circular line. Taking on the 18th century meaning of buildings arranged in a circular line. Whenever you're in London, there's always people with cameras, me included, I suppose. Never know what they're all doing. So yes, it used to be a complete roundabout, but the building of Shaftesbury Avenue sort of cut that in 1886. But we still kept the name. Okay, let's have a look at the statue of not Eros. And actually, if you look on Google Maps and you look for a statue of Eros, you'll struggle to find it because it's actually got a slightly different name. Its official name, this centrepiece here, is the Shaftesbury Memorial Fountain. And it's named after the Victorian philanthropist Anthony Ashley Cooper, who was the 7th Earl of Shaftesbury. Honestly, it's not the most beautiful of items. It's always got litter and stuff in it. Here we go. There's your lad at the top, and I'll get on to that. Alfred Gilbert was the designer of this nude statue. And it's actually, so I'll get in a bit closer, so I'll give you, I don't know if you can catch that. We've got some fishy looking creatures and cherubic looking, I don't know. So that is actually Anteros, the Greek god Anteros, not Eros. And you know, the Earl of Shaftesbury was a philanthropist, not so much a Lothario like the nude Eros, who was the god of frivolous and romantic love. No, his brother Anteros was the god of selfless and mature love, far more suited. There you are. Get a shot of the lights there, which we'll get onto. And there used to be cups here. Actually, it's been cleared today. Last time I was here, it was filthy. There used to be cups here, and you could drink from the fountain, which the Duchess of Westminster did at the unveiling in 1893. Now, Alfred Gilbert's design had a much larger basin originally, but the designs got changed, and it meant that anybody that went past got covered in water. So Alfred Gilbert, the designer, he actually refused to attend the unveiling. There we go. It says King Charles up there. Coronation. Still got stuff up for that. And then we got Art of London along Piccadilly over there. So I stand right in the middle of Piccadilly Circus. Might as well give you a view. That's Regent Street there. So I try not to fall down the steps. So, while we're standing here, might as well look at those, which are the great big illuminated advertising hoardings. These started in the early 1900s, and they were all over the square. Every building in the square could carry them. But they've changed that now. It is only this building here on the north, I think it's the north side of the square. If you're from the Crown Estate, if you lease from the Crown Estate, you're not allowed to carry advertising hoardings. Okay, let's come down from here. It's quite quiet. I actually tried to film here a few days ago, and the singer was so loud it was actually impossible. I tried to talk directly into my mic and couldn't hear a word I was saying. So that's back to Leicester Square over there. So the bright sign for Coca-Cola has been here the longest. I don't know if you can catch that there with the bus. There. Since 1955. The first products were advertised in neon in 1908. Now, there was a first illuminated sign, which was a Perrier advert in 1908 using incandescent light bulbs. And then neon was first used for a Bovril sign. Bovril, yep, that was the first sign to use neon lights, and that was in the 1940s. And 100 million tourists pass through Piccadilly Circus every year. Lots of people taking their pictures, so I guess those ads turn up in lots of pics. Just see if I can find you a tube station entrance. Oh, actually, and the Criterion as well. So the Criterion Theatre over there, showing Bleak Expectations. Let me just wipe my lens again, because I really don't want it to be all messed up. Right, all cleared up. The Criterion Theatre on the south, so we're on the south side now, north to south, just a few steps, is entirely underground, except for the box office, which you're seeing here. It's a Grade 2 listed building. When it was built in 1873, fresh air had to be pumped in to the Criterion during performances to prevent the audience being asphyxiated by the toxic fumes from the gas lights. Dearie me. So completely underground other than the box office. And that ties in nicely with the next point I was going to make to you, which is the tube station is also entirely underground. I'll just show you a little tube station entrance. Here we are, public subway. Here we go, just show you. People get confused when they see me hanging over the top filming them. So you can see you've got the Bakerloo line, Piccadilly line, and a visitor centre. I think you can do tours around here actually. So there are entrances at every corner of the square, and it is one of the few stations in London that has no associated buildings above ground. It is fully underground and again Grade 2 listed. It was opened in 1906 on the Bakerloo line, Piccadilly line added December that year, but it quickly became so popular that they had to build a whole modern one. And I think it was in the era of moving from lifts to escalators that it was built as well. It takes about 40 million passengers every year. And during the Second World War, it was one of the busiest tube shelters in London. about 7,000 people could shelter there in a night. So that's Regent Street over there. There's a bus about to go past. Now, if you look over there, the Regent Palace Hotel used to stand on that spot between 1914 and 2006. It was the largest hotel in Europe with 1,028 bedrooms. I don't think you can quite see it from here, but there's a bridge over Sherwood Street, and that was built to link the hotel to its laundry room and staff quarters. It's now been redeveloped. It's always really noisy here. Now being redeveloped by the Crown Estate. That's Shaftesbury Avenue over there. Don't know if you can see in the distance, we got the Apollo and we got the Lyric. Drivers are getting frustrated with each other. And as I continue to walk around in circles, I think I'll just about finish that. Let me just tell you where you are exactly. So as I said, Leicester Square in that direction. If you continue in that direction, that will take you along Regent Street to Oxford Circus, another circus. And if you go along there, that will take you along Piccadilly. And actually, if you head over that way, you'll find yourself towards Buckingham Palace and St James's and those sorts of places. It's a nice central spot from that point of view. I can finish up with a piece of information about why is it called Piccadilly Square Circus, not a square, circus, as we look at the station again. So the urban legend is that the word Piccadilly comes from prostitution. It doesn't. In 1612, a man named Robert Baker built a mansion house here, just to the north of Piccadilly Circus, and he made his wealth from the sale of pickdills. Stiff collars worn by the fashionable gents of London. Locals derisively called his mansion Piccadilly Hall, and so the name Piccadilly stuck. Okay, I think I'm going to sign off now. I think we're just about finished walking around Leicester Square and around Piccadilly Circus on a bit of a grey June morning in London. I hope you've enjoyed hearing the little bits and snippets of history I've given you. And I will sign off now. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.